Hi there, it's Sharon Waxman, the editor-in-chief of TheWrap, coming to you from our studio at the Toronto Film Festival. I'm delighted to welcome the writer-directors and the cast, and the also cast of The Friend, which is playing in the festival, David Siegel, Scott McGeehee, and Naomi Watts. And Bing, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I just will mention that the dog started drooling just as I was looking at the camera and making the introduction, but I just kept going. So I guess that's what it was like on set.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So tell us.
Improvisation.
Exactly. David Scott, tell us the basic storyline of the movie.
The story is about a woman, a writer and a teacher who lives in a very tiny rent-controlled apartment in the West Village in New York City. And her kind of best friend and mentor in life, and a more notable writer than she, dies unexpectedly, and he bequeaths to her his 150-pound Harlequin Great Dane. And sort of against her better judgment, because she realizes that the dog is grieving his master as much as she's grieving the loss of her friend, she takes the dog in. And so all the complications and the funniness and the sadness of these two people, these two creatures sort of coming to know and eventually love each other is the story of The Friend.
And I should say that the friend is played by Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
Who is unable to be here today, but I'm sure is with us in spirit. What was the inspiration behind this story?
So it's an adaptation of a novel by Sigrid Nunez. She actually won the National Book Award for it in 2018. And David and I read the book and got excited about it and adapted the screenplay. It's been a kind of 6-year journey to here.
Once we started to talking to Naomi about it, we knew that the movie was going to be the thing that we wanted.
You've been talking to Naomi for 6 years about this?
No,
not quite,
not
but
quite.
quite
But
a few. You know,
but
we had the
post-pandemic,
pandemic and the strike, which slowed things down. But in the process, Bing was able to learn a whole lot more tricks.
And he aged into his role. He was a little bit young when we first met Bing, and when we shot the movie, he was 5 years old, which is exactly right.
And he's now 6 years old?
He's now 6 years old.
Okay. And he's 150 pounds?
He might be shy.
He's
very close to
clearly
150.
weighs more than Naomi.
This is correct. And so it took a great deal of training and trust to be able to work on the streets of New York City where you've got like traffic, human traffic, as well as cars,
and dogs.
Dogs. Yeah. There was always the anticipation of some, gnarly dog coming around the corner and wanting to attack this lovely, well-behaved dog. So
he is extremely adorable. I hope we can get a close-up shot
he's
on
he's a
Bing.
little tired today. He had to travel a long way to get here.
Bing lives in Iowa with his owner and trainer, Bev Klingensmith. And they've come here. They've driven here from Iowa. And so Bing had a bit of a road trip on the way to the Toronto Film Festival.
This four-legged creature brings the heart and soul into this story because he is, yes, as David said so beautifully, he is grieving also and lost his
do you
best
mean that?
friend.
When you say that he's grieving also, do you mean that in a real sense?
In the story, yes.
In the story,
yeah.
I mean,
and we
yeah.
examined that quite deeply because, I think a dog's, and the relationship between a dog and its owner is very deep. I mean, I don't know if you've owned dogs all your life. I have, and I know that. So it is very clear when he expresses his grief, and he does that in different ways throughout the film. And his grief becomes my grief, and we kind of become, this unlikely pairing become kind of closely knit, and we evolve and grow through the grief process too.
It's one of the things that attracted us to the story is that Apollo is the character's name. Apollo is a real character in the movie. He has an arc like the other characters and actors do in the movie, and it's not sort of a typical dog movie that way. It's not about special or wonderful things that the dog does. It's about how does the dog learn and grow in the movie. And it's a beautiful performance from the dog. And Naomi's patience with the dog and ability to work with the dog was really extraordinary.
Well, talk about your character and what it is that can I say that it's a suicide of your friend Can I say that without giving too much away? Of that you're grappling with and trying to think about. Tell us how you built the character and how you thought about what you were trying to portray in this.
Yeah, I mean, Sigrid is, I think the whole theme of the book is grief and loss and how one deals with it and how it is part of so many of our lives, not just the loss of a friend or a partner. You know, we grieve every day in little ways. You know, we move through different things and transitions in our lives and things we achieved or didn't achieve. But in this case, this is a friendship. It's her mentor. It's her real special friend. And not only did he die, but he gave no warning. So the juxtaposition of emotions that she's experiencing, the sadness along with the anger, I suppose. Like, why didn't you give us any warning? And you lumbered me with this dog, and I'm the least likely person to be able to manage that in my life, in my rent-controlled apartment, and it's a 500 square foot. Is that right? Did I get it?
Yeah.
Not even. Okay. You've got all these other people around. Why did you do this to me? And why didn't you say goodbye to me? Why didn't you, we had so much to do, so much more love to share. And so it's, and she's got, a lot of things going on in her life that are not quite happening the way that she had thought and planned them to. So the dog just sort of like becomes this, almost her undoing, but that she manages to survive that and move through it with and turn it into something positive.
He almost fills the space literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In her life.
How was it working with Bill Murray, who's somewhat enigmatic
He is.
in his way?
Well, we've worked together before.
Yep.
And actually, when the guys called me and we were talking about the material, I asked them right away who they were thinking about for Walter, because it was very important to me. Even though there's only a handful of scenes, the presence was for sure going to be felt. So they said, "Oh, look at it!" I hope you got that on camera. They said Bill Murray right away, and
How'd you get Bill Murray?
Well, Naomi's response to us saying Bill Murray was, "Oh my gosh, you're not expecting me to call him, are you?"
yeah,
Well,
I thought that's what they were
Oh, they
calling
want you
me.
to recruit him. Yes.
Like, you don't really want me, you just want Bill, and you want me to get him for you.
And so
I'm one of the few people who has his phone number.
we said, no, we'll take care of that, no problem. Like we've got his phone
I just
number.
wanted you to know creatively.
Oh, wow. So I didn't know that Bill
so-
Murray's phone number is a thing in the business.
Well, we hung up and thought, well, now how are we going to call Bill Murray?
Oh, so that you
and
did not actually.
We did have his number, but it's complicated. And but Naomi called him immediately. Like the next text we got from Naomi was, "Bill's interested. How do we get him a script?"
We didn't need to prod her. She was like, "Yes, that's a good idea. Now I'm going to call Bill Murray."
Yeah,
Oh my
because I
gosh.
became obsessed with the idea. Like I couldn't see anybody else with it. And then, almost to the point where if he wasn't going to do it, I didn't know if I could either, because it was, I just didn't. I saw it so loudly and clearly. And you can't rush Bill. You can't just say, "Okay, you like it? Okay, can we do it on this date in this place?" He's got to take his time. And you also can't send him a script on email or anything like that. So we had to hand deliver a printed copy. And
You're serious, right?
I'm deadly.
Deadly.
Deadly serious.
Okay.
He was lovely though throughout the process. He went through the script with us, gave us notes, not just on his character, but on like every page of the script.
Yeah,
every
no one
line.
understands a joke like Bill Murray.
Yeah.
And so you just say yes. If he's got an adjustment, yes,
Yes,
you're
Mr.
right.
Murray.
Yes.
Okay, well, Naomi, Scott, David, Bing, thank you so much for coming to the Wrap Studio. Best of luck with The Friend screening
Thanks,
here
Sharon.
at the festival. Go see it. And see you again soon. This is great.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited to see the movie.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thanks for